Okay, so before we start working on the album cover, I want to do something else inside the individual pages. Let's see. There's the 1, the 2, and the 3. That's still a little funky wonky. There we go. So, I had an idea. I've not ever done this before, so I hope you will just stay with me and follow along, and we'll see if it works. So these are 5x7s, and I have a lot of room in this book because it's so large that I wanted to get some good, wonderful picture placement pieces. So, because when you look at this paper, you're not going to want anybody to cover these images up with paper. I mean, with pictures. You know, the whole idea behind this particular paper is that the images are just awesome. And the person that gets this would, you know, like to see these pictures, you know, as close to their entirety as possible, because they're you know, Stamperia did a good job on these. They're nice. So, of course, we're going to have flips and flaps and things like that, but I did want to have extra space. So, you know how you can get a 4 5x7s out of a 12x12 sheet. Okay. If you don't remember or you've never seen the videos, because there's a ton of them out there, I went ahead and got this scoreboard so that I could do my cutting and my scoring so you can see everything. This isn't the best cutter compared to my Precision Pro that I have, but it does an okay job. It does an okay job. Okay, so you're going to set up your 12x12 paper. Let me see if I can get this to stay here a little bit better. Not that you can really see, but I got it set up on my 7. Now, wherever you set it up on your 7, up to the line, covering the whole line, or centering the whole line, do that for each one of them, okay? However you set it up on your cutter. So, and it is best if you have a cutter, that moved, it is best if you have a cutter that has a ruler on it. If not, you'll just have to make little marks. So the first cut, when we're on 7, the first cut, you're only going to cut down 5 inches. So if you need to make a mark with a ruler down 5 inches, then do that. Mine has a ruler on it. So I'm just going to cut it down to the 5-inch mark. Okay? Now don't move that. We're going to pick our paper up and we're going to turn it counterclockwise and we're going to put it on the 5. And again, the same way you set it up on the 7 is the way you want to set it up on the 5. Drop your paper piece down and continue the cut. And there is your first 5x7. All right? Now, this is where I kind of always screw it up, but I think I'll be all right. We're going to flip this because this is 7 inches, right? I mean, yeah, this is 7. So I'm going to put it on the 7 again. Okay? So we counterclockwise it one more time. We were like this. We cut our paper. Now we're going to counterclockwise it, turn one more time. Put it on the 7, exactly the same way you put it on last time. And now you're going to cut up this way. So there is your second 5x7. Now we're going to pick this up and we're going to counterclockwise it again. And we're going to put it on, nope. Here we are. We're going to clockwise turn it. Put it on the 7. And there is your third 5x7. And now we're going to clockwise it. Well, no, we're going to counterclockwise it because it's easier to cut this way. And we're going to put it on the 5. All right. There's several ways of getting around the same thing. But so counterclockwise, counterclockwise, and then clockwise, clockwise. And cut. So there are your 4 5x7s. And you end up with this little square. Don't get rid of these. We're going to keep those. We'll find a use for them, I think. I'm not going to say I'm sure. And this, yeah, okay, we're good. Now, I did have to, because this is not the best cutter, sometimes I have to kind of take it to my other one. But we are looking good. So all of these are looking good. So I did that once for you. Hopefully you will get it, but you need to do that to 4 12x12 sheets so that you have, what's that, 16. So you will have 16 of these 5x7s. All right. So now I'm going to take another piece of that brown paper and I'm going to cut myself 1 inch strip. That's all I need is just a 1 inch strip. So I'm going to just put this one over here on 11. Make sure it's nice and straight. Oh my goodness, outside it is just blowing up a storm. And it is Mother's Day today. I know we won't be watching this together until later on, but I hope everybody had a wonderful Mother's Day and that you got to spend it with friends and family. My husband and son right now are cooking a wonderful early dinner, and I don't have to lift a finger, so I am extremely happy about that. Okay, so it's a little off on one side, so I just had to find my line there. Okay. So, just take one of these, lay this across it, behind it. Make sure it's lined up with this edge and this edge. I'm going to bring you in just a little closer. Make sure it gets all lined up so you know it's nice and straight. And then cut it off because we just need to have one. Well, we need to have 2 of these. But we need it to be the same width. Okay, so there's that one. And then we're going to do it again. You can either put these 2 together like this or work it with the other way. Whichever way works best for you. Okay. I did my fingernails last night so that Mother's Day I would be all pretty. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and fold these. Bone folder. Oh, bone folder. Where'd you go? Where'd you run off to? Oh, here you are. It was blending with all the crap I have on my desk right now. Okay, so we have these pulled together. Now, on these, we're going to get the scoreboard. Boop. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Oy! Always dropping something. Okay, so we are going to give ourselves a 1/2 inch on each one of these. I talked to my daughter today. She's in Florida. Of course, she's got my grandson, and they went for a nice brunch, and my grandson crawled from there's probably 20 people at the table, and he crawled from person to person and sat in their lap for a little while and told all the mothers Happy Mother's Day and told all the fathers Happy Mother's Day. Oh, yeah, everybody had a very nice time apparently. So that was nice. She is a single mom, so she takes all the help she can get. But she's got a lot of her, a lot of family in Florida, so it's all, she has quite the support system, and then there's us, so yeah. I miss having them close by, though. Okay, so we are almost done with this. So I did kind of a little trial with some little scraps, and I think this is going to turn out pretty cool. If not, we will utilize this for something else. So if you haven't started cutting this, you might want to wait and see if you like what I'm going to do. Oh my gosh. But I think it's going to turn out pretty cool. But we'll find out. We'll find out. And you know, with Stamperia, they give you so many of the little things. You got it on the back, inside front cover, inside back cover, and then another page. So yeah, pretty cool. Okay, we are done with this. I'll put that away. All right. Now this definitely has a front and a back to it, because the back is a solid brown and the front is my kind of iridescent. So let's go ahead. This paper doesn't want to fold super well. Oh, stickers. There we go. I don't know if I'm definitely dating myself, but when I first really got into card making and stuff, we used to do cards, and we would take, I'm sure some of you remember, and some people probably still do this, but we used to take stickers and make a whole scene with stickers. That was back in the day. I don't know if any of you remember that. You know, let me know. Give me a little shout out. Say, oh yeah, I used to do that. I don't know, that just these little stickers just reminded me of that. Just popped into my wee little head. All right. Okay, so I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to get 8 of them so I can show you what one of these, because you need 8 for each one of the hinges we made. I know you're probably going, 8 for one hinge? What are you talking about? Well, give me just a sec here. So now I got 8. I'm going to put these off to the side so we can jump right into this. All right, so I'm just trying to think if I want to, I think I do. Yeah, you guys hear the wheels grinding. I know Terry, that I did the collaboration with, she said, yeah, every time you think, you make that little noise. So yeah, I'm thinking. So I keep all these little tidbits of pieces of Tyvek, and they come in handy instead of cutting into another piece of Tyvek. So, and I think even though it's too short, I think it's probably going to be okay. You know, I can probably get both of them out of this. I'm just going to cut this one right up the center. And I think this will be plenty. So, okay, here's one. Yeah. And I'll just cut it off on both sides. So let's go ahead and get some glue on this bad boy. I don't have to glue it all the way up to the top. Ugh, I still have no fingernails. That was good. Fingernails would be so lovely. And I'm just going to get this glued right up the center because we need the support in the center. Make sure you're doing it on the inside of your fold. And let's go ahead and fold and burnish. Make sure that that is getting all the way into the fold after you do that, because it looked like it wasn't getting in there. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead. I have a little piece hanging off over here. I'm going to get that cut off before it dries, because you don't want to see any of this from the outside. Let's see. All right. Okay. Alrighty, here we go, here we go. Just making sure that's getting nice and dry in there before we move on too far. Okay, so we're going to take our first one and we're going to glue on the outside of the tab. And we're going to glue it right down onto our piece here. And once you get it lined up, top, bottom, and sides, give it a little burnish. Make sure that gets nice and glued down. Burnish on this side. And remember, your opening at this point, your opening is this way for your hinge. And you put your first one down on it like that. Okay? All right. Now let's get our second one. And you know what? Okay, wait just a minute. I totally forgot when I did this, I decided that I wanted to put a gusset in this. So let's do another, but let's do it at 1 1/4 inches. 1 1/4 inches, 1.5 inches. Let's do it at 1.5 inches. Okay. And now, I'm sorry guys. Again, you know, I just, with the trial and error kind of stuff. Okay, so we're at 2 inches. Oh no, I'm sorry, we're at 1.5 inches. So 0.75 is our center. So we're going to go into the, I'm sorry. Yes, 0.75. So we're going to go into the 5/8 line and do a score. And we're going to go into the 7/8 line and do a score. And come around and finish those score lines up. I'm just going to maneuver them so they'll get into a score line and continue them up. Okay. So now we have that. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and fold okay. And I've still got this one that we didn't use. I'm going to make it the same size. Let's open it up so there's more. You know what? I'm not going to screw around with it that way. I'm just going to take this and line it up. Because the way I cut. Okay. And then I'll get some more Tyvek. Well, I've got one piece there that'll work. Because I'll do one of these with you, and then I'll do the other one off camera, because they take a little bit of time. Not bad, though. This isn't difficult. This is not difficult. So just take your time, make sure you're getting all your measurements right, because that will definitely make a difference on how everything works out for us. Okay. So now here is my piece, and it's still going to work. It's still going to work. It covers the hinges. Oopsie. All right. So here we go. Just make sure you got enough that's covering the hinges and the gusset. Give that a second to dry. And I'm going to go ahead while I'm, oh, poot. Oh, well. That's all right. I made the chocolate brown be the outside, and I'm not going to sweat it. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. There's that. And that. Oh, my husband's taking the dogs for a walk. Yeah, today I don't have to do anything. So I don't have to take the dogs for a walk. Nothing. I don't have to cook. My son is finishing up the laundry I had. Yeah, I'm being totally pampered. And they said, now you can go and do anything you want. I said, well, I'm going to go talk to my friends. It does take a little bit of time for that glue to dry with the Tyvek, so give it some time. Give it some time. Let's see. Okay, I hope I'm staying on camera with all of this. Yeah, see that? Let me try my art glitter glue on this, because I'm not really liking the Barely art glue on my Tyvek. It just doesn't seem to be really adhering. Because sometimes it does take a little bit of extra effort for this Tyvek to hold well. And if it doesn't hold well, then it doesn't really get a chance to do its job that we're putting it on there for. So let's see if that's any better. Let me go ahead and fold this side and see if I'm going to have to do the same thing. Okay. It doesn't look extremely straight. All right. How is that sticking? Nope, not very well at all. Come on. I haven't been using my art glitter glue here because I've been trying to give this Barely art glue an honest to goodness try, and I'm finding that there's a few things it doesn't work on that the art glitter glue does. And I do have another glue that I'm going to try as well on my next project. Whatever that is. Yeah, see that Barely Art glue is just not working on this. So some surfaces it just doesn't seem to be 100%. I mean, it grabbed in some places, but I pretty much got the glue all over it. So anyway, okay, now we're going to, and I'm going to go ahead and use my art glitter glue. I think I can go ahead and order some art glitter glue now, so I will be doing that because I definitely like it better than the Barely Art. The Barely Art works very nicely, and if you're like just a card maker or something and don't really do a lot of mixed media type of work, the Barely Art glue would be perfect for that. It seems like sometimes, though, it just doesn't do very well with some of the different finishes that we work with. Okay, so we are going to place this down on that hinge line. I'm going to go ahead and flatten everything so I can get this right down on the edge of that fold. So it kind of covers it all the way up to the fold. Let's squeeze that. Find some kind of fingernail here. And all of this is going to get covered up. Why? Oh, I'm thinking it wasn't. I was thinking it wasn't catching, but it was. Okay, so and because I made this a little longer, the edge of the hinge sticks out past the 1/2 inch of the waterfall piece of your page. Ooh, I got glue everywhere on that one. Okay, here, let me do this for a second here. This thing works on so many things. I'll have to attach that I've had several people ask me about that, and I know Terry from Sweet Pea Papers, she found one that was a ladybug, and she loves it. She said she really loves having one, and so if I think about it, I'll put it in the description box so that one of these times so you guys can find it as well. Okay, so now we're going to open this up, and we're still working on this first outside part of your hinge flap. Okay, so there's the whole hinge. We still have it, and I have pushed it all down so that the gusset is flat onto the surface along with the back half of the hinge. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So now we're going to re-glue this one. Okay, and we're going to turn it this way. So this is the back of this one, and this is the front of this one. Now, this edge is going to line up with the flap on the hinge. Okay, so the very edge of your paper. And just lay it right down, right along the edge of that first hinge that we've been working on. Give it a good burnish. Get rid of the extra glue. Flip it open. Let's get this laying down nicely. Goodness gracious, it's like I'm growing glue all over myself. Every place I look, I'm getting glue. Where do I have glue? It's like I'm a bottle of glue. I keep putting glue on everything. Okay, so now we're going to flip the whole hinge open. All right. So now we're going to take another one. Let's get our glue down. Lessen up the glue. Now, on the very end of the hinge, so you can see where the shiny part. So on the very end of the hinge, we're going to put this first one down. Line it right up with the edge so you just can't see the edge. Make sure your top and bottom is straight. And then open this up. Burnish again. Get rid of any extra glue. And go to the next one. I was much better on the glue, so I was just putting too much. All right, so now we're going to do this same thing again. Here is the front of this one. And then the front of this one is back. Okay, so the inside to the inside. This flat brown to the flat brown here. And now you're going to go just to out, excuse me, you want to stay out of the score line on this flap, but you also want to stay out of the score line on the hinge. So you're going to find the center between the two score lines on this one so that you're staying out of both score lines. Make sure it's straight with your other ones. There we go. Flip it back over. All right, make sure those ends are getting down. That's a lot on one hinge, but I'm thinking it's going to be okay. All right, so now we're going to start working on the opposite hinge. And I'm just going to continue on. Okay, so I'm going to stay out of the hinge for the score line. But I'm going to go up, close to it. Like a 1/16 inch away. You just want to make sure you're not getting into that hinge where it's not going to be liked by your paper. Okay, open this up. Hold your hinge down. Give it another little burnish. Make sure you've got it nice and straight. Okay. Still out of the hinge, yes. Okay, your next one. Now, if you're like me and you made it the same size, the hinge part sticks out past the 1/2 inch hinge off of the waterfall piece. So that is what we're going to stick this one to, is to the piece that is still coming out from our actual hinge. So I'm going to go all the way to that edge with this piece. So there'll be nothing hanging out. Nothing hanging out. Make sure it's nice and straight. And burnish it very well. There we go. Open it up. All right, now we're going to close our hinge. And we're going to bend where we have the gusset flat to the back. So we don't have to worry about not gluing onto the gusset. So burnish that so that gusset will stay down. Now we have 2 more of these. So we're going to take our first one. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to put it all the way to the edge of the hinge. So is that correct? Yes. So right to the edge of the hinge. Don't let any of it hang over the edge. Make sure it's nice and even top to bottom. Open it up. Make sure your pages are all lining up. All right. Burnish. Let me make sure I didn't move off my hinge. Nope, everything looks good. All right. Okay, and our very last one. So now we're going to go to the very edge where the hinge and the gusset come together. So we're going to that very edge. You can see that there's a difference in the colors there. So there is a bit still hanging out. All the way to the edge. Even it up top and bottom. Even it up on your book. On your waterfall. It's not a book, it's a waterfall. But I suppose you could do this as a book as well. Okay. Let me open this up. Make sure I've got it laying flat. Okay. All right, so now let's get the gusset pushed back out. And we will figure out what we're going to do on the inside here to cover this. We will get that covered. Okay, so it will go into the book like this. And it will either, we can sew it in, or we can, this is not quite dry yet. We can either sew it in, or we can use, those things, brads. Searching for my words. Oh, I've been too pampered today already, I guess. Okay. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do you guys like that? I love it. And with the 1/4 inch that I put and the 1/2 inch that I have in the book, I was thinking about putting it here in the center, putting one here and putting one here. So that would be the center of the book, would be all of these photos. However, now that I'm laying this down, I'm seeing that it's going to want to sit up. So we need to fix that. It needs to have a hidden hinge kind of thing with an extra little groupy thing. So I will come up with something for that. Let's go ahead and make our second one. Don't forget to use a piece of Tyvek. I wonder if I can get this off of this one with that glue. Oh, yeah, that Barely Art glue does not work on Tyvek. That just came off. That was the only thing that held. So we will use the Art Glitter glue for this. But go ahead and get your second one done. And I will come up with a fix for actually putting it into our book. So I'll have to put my engineering brain on and see if I can create something. This is all going to get covered, so and I think I'm also going to take some of that newspaper print and see if I can print on it. I wanna put some things on it that would be, you know, I've got some digital kits, and this is pretty thin paper, so I might have to use I might have to tape it down to the paper. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But this newspaper print, if I print something on it, I think that'll look really cool, and have that in one of these sections as well, so that there'll be a lot of writing space. I think this. Oh, what'd I do with it? Where'd I put it? Uh-oh. I was gonna say I think it had where it was oh, here it is. No, it doesn't say anything about being acid free or anything. So I will incorporate it inside a some of the 12 by 12 papers so that it's not going to touch photos. Yeah. Okay. So guys, let's get the second one made. And I did it again. Well, that's it. They needed to be the same anyway. Take your time. Make sure you get them all nice and even. And, you know, if you need to see it again, just back me up a little bit and watch again. All right, guys? So I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm going to figure out how we're going to put this all together. All right? All right. Back in a sec.